My name is Savanna Rae, and I wrote and perform in Daughters of Ire. Daughters of Ire is about the women of the Irish Ulster cycle, which is a group of stories that were written down in early medieval Ireland. Often in retellings from these stories, these women, they often get relegated to secondary characters. Or if they are major characters, they get flattened, they get kind of two-dimensionalized. And it's just about their stories and their relationships with violence and the realities of being women living in violent worlds, both then and today. Originally, it was honestly just for personal development. I was just doing it for fun. I wanted to learn more about these stories, get more in touch with them, and learn more about them. I have Irish heritage, and I was just really interested in getting to the root of a lot of these old stories, get more in touch with them, and I just really fell in love with it. And I started wondering, what if these women's stories were told through one voice? What if we saw all of these incredible, iconic women in one woman's body? If we saw all of these different kind of performances of femininity and all of these different experiences in one woman's body, what would that look like? I think it's important that we keep these stories alive. I think as Americans with Irish descent, I think it's important. I think it's important to keep our kind of collective memories, like stories and song and language and all of that, alive. Every time we tell a story, we're actively creating culture. But it's also important that we remember, the parts of our history and our stories that are darker. I mean, that's so much of Irish history, to be honest. And these stories, while they are, they're beautiful. There's a reason why we keep telling them. But they're often unfair. They're often not what I think we would have hoped for these women. But to be honest, that hasn't changed. I remember reading in a solo performance anthology book when the editor was talking about why it's such a bold thing to do solo theater, and it is. It's an incredibly bold responsibility to ask an audience, you should watch me for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour and a half. I have something to say that demands that or that earns that, I guess. It's a doubly bold thing, though, for a woman to ask that of her audiences. Physically, verbally, in every way we are told to be quiet and small. And solo theater is not that ever at all by any stretch of the imagination. But I definitely think as a female solo artist, it's a doubly, almost transgressive social act to say, not only should you listen to me for an hour, but you should listen to me, a woman, for an hour, tell these stories about women. I think it's important that we hear women's stories by women. Having all of these women live in one woman's body, even if just for an hour and a half, I think helps fight this idea that there is one inherent performance of gender. So often in their retellings, they're sugar-coated in a way. That's not what this is. There's a time and a place for all of that. But if what you're looking for is a celebration of women and a celebration of women's stories, and specifically a celebration of these incredible women's stories, if you're looking for a celebration of our heritage, a really honest celebration of some of our stories as Irish Americans, then I think you'll like it.